Ladies and gentlemen, as the years go by and the pages of our lives are filled with experience, wisdom, and memories, a profound truth begins to emerge. There is a season for every purpose, and with age comes the gift of reflection, a time to focus inward and embrace the beauty of silence. Today, I want to share a message about the power of centering on yourself and the strength found in stillness as we journey through the golden years of life. In our youth, life often felt like a race, fueled by ambition, the need for validation, and a desire to leave a mark on the world. But as we grow older, we begin to see life through a different lens. The external clamor fades, and the internal melody grows louder. It's in this season that we are reminded to focus on what truly matters: our own growth, peace, and purpose. Focusing on yourself is not an act of selfishness, it is a declaration of self-worth. It is choosing to nurture your body, mind, and spirit with the same care you once offered others. It is letting go of regrets that tether you to the past and anxieties that steal the joy of the present. But how do we focus on ourselves? It starts by embracing silence, not just the absence of noise, but the presence of stillness. Embracing silence as a sanctuary for reflection and inner peace is one of the most transformative practices we can adopt, especially as we move into the later stages of life. In a world filled with constant noise, both external and internal, finding moments of genuine silence is not only rare but profoundly healing. Silence offers us a refuge, a sacred space where the relentless pace of life slows down, and we can reconnect with the deepest parts of ourselves. When we talk about silence, it is important to understand that it is much more than simply the absence of sound. It is an intentional space where we allow our minds and hearts to rest from the endless chatter of thoughts, worries, and distractions. This kind of silence provides the opportunity to slow down enough to hear what is truly beneath the surface. In silence, we begin to recognize the subtle voices within us, those gentle nudges of intuition, memories that hold lessons, and emotions that seek understanding. As we age, life often seems to accelerate with responsibilities, expectations, and sometimes the weight of regrets or unresolved conflicts. Amidst all of this, silence becomes a sanctuary, a place we return to again and again to find balance and clarity. This sanctuary is not something external that we must search for in faraway places. It is an inner refuge accessible to each of us at any moment, if we simply allow ourselves to be still. The act of embracing silence means stepping away from the noise of daily life, be it the chatter of technology, the pressures of social demands, or even the internal noise of self-criticism and doubt. By choosing silence, we are creating a space where healing can begin. It's in this silence that the mind can settle like a still pond, allowing reflections to surface with greater clarity. We start to see things more clearly, not just the events of our past or the challenges of our present, but the deeper meaning and purpose that guide our journey. Reflection in silence helps us gain perspective. It allows us to sift through the many experiences we have accumulated and distill the wisdom they offer. Often, the answers we seek are not found by rushing to speak or act, but by sitting quietly and letting understanding grow organically. In this quiet space, we can confront our fears, acknowledge our mistakes, and forgive ourselves and others. It is here that transformation can take place. Inner peace, which flows naturally from embracing silence, is one of the most valuable gifts we can cultivate. It is a peace that does not depend on external circumstances, which can be unpredictable and beyond our control, but rather a deep-rooted calm that arises from within. This peace is the foundation for resilience in the face of life's inevitable challenges. It helps us navigate difficult emotions without being overwhelmed and remain grounded even when the world around us feels chaotic. Moreover, silence encourages a form of listening that is often lost in the business of life. In silence, we can listen not only to ourselves but also to the world around us with greater sensitivity and appreciation. The rustling of leaves, the subtle rhythm of breathing, the gentle sound of a loved one's voice. These moments become richer when we cultivate silence. This heightened awareness fosters gratitude and a deeper connection to life. Embracing silence also means recognizing the value of restraint. It is a discipline to choose silence when words might be unnecessary or harmful. Often, in our desire to be heard or to prove a point, we fill the air with noise that drowns out wisdom and understanding. But silence allows space for others to speak, for new insights to emerge, and for healing to occur through presence rather than speech. In the quiet sanctuary of silence, we also come face to face with the divine, however we understand it. For many, silence becomes a spiritual practice, a way to open the heart and mind to a higher power, to seek guidance, comfort, and strength. This sacred silence invites a deep communion that words cannot capture, a connection to something greater than ourselves that renews and sustains us. Importantly, embracing silence as a sanctuary does not mean isolation or withdrawal from life. Rather, it is a source of renewal that equips us to engage more fully and authentically with the world. When we take time to retreat into silence, we return with greater clarity, compassion, and wisdom. We are better able to listen, to respond rather than react, and to live with intention and grace. This practice is especially vital as we age because it honors the natural rhythm of life. The older we grow, the more we understand that life is a series of seasons, each with its own purpose and gifts. Silence in old age is not emptiness. It is fullness in a different form. It is the fullness of accumulated experience, the quiet confidence born of having weathered storms, and the calm assurance that comes from knowing one's place in the grand tapestry of life. The sanctuary of silence also offers a space for healing old wounds. Over the years, we carry scars, some visible, others hidden deep within. These scars may come from loss, disappointment, broken relationships, or missed opportunities. Silence gives us the courage to face these hurts without distraction or denial. It provides the stillness needed to process pain, to grieve, and eventually to find peace. In a culture that often equates silence with weakness or passivity, embracing silence as a sanctuary is a radical act of strength. It requires courage to resist the pressure to constantly speak or act, and instead choose to be present, to listen, and to allow things to unfold in their own time. Yet it is through this strength that true wisdom and peace are born. The beauty of this sanctuary is that it is available to all, regardless of circumstance or background. Silence does not discriminate. It welcomes everyone who seeks refuge within its embrace, and it is never too late to enter this sanctuary. Whether you are young or old, whether your life has been filled with noise, or you have long yearned for stillness, the door to silence remains open. As we cultivate this sanctuary within ourselves, we begin to notice the subtle shifts in our daily lives. We become less reactive, less anxious, and more centered. The noise outside loses its power to disturb our inner calm. We learn to appreciate moments of quiet as gifts rather than voids to be filled. This deepened relationship with silence transforms not only how we experience life, but also how we relate to others. In this way, embracing silence is not simply a passive retreat, but an active engagement with life on a deeper level. It is a practice that nurtures wisdom, patience, and compassion. It allows us to live more authentically and to approach each day with a sense of peace that is unshaken by external turmoil. Ultimately, the sanctuary of silence is a place where we can come home to ourselves. It is a space where the soul can breathe freely and the heart can find rest. It is the quiet foundation upon which we build a life of meaning and grace, especially in the richness of old age. Focusing on self-care and personal growth as acts of self-worth is a powerful and necessary mindset, especially as we journey through the later seasons of life. Too often, there is a misconception that turning inward and prioritizing ourselves is selfish or indulgent. But in truth, focusing on oneself is a vital expression of respect and love for the person God created us to be. It's a recognition that we matter deeply and that our well-being is essential not only for ourselves but for those around us. As we age, the natural tendency can sometimes be to place the needs of others before our own, or to feel that our time for growth and change has passed. Yet, personal growth is a lifelong journey, not something that ends at a certain age. It's a continuous unfolding, an ongoing invitation to deepen our understanding of who we are, to refine our character, and to nurture our spirit. When we focus on self-care, we are essentially honoring that journey and affirming that our value does not diminish with time. Self-care encompasses many dimensions: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Each of these areas deserves attention and kindness. Physically, focusing on yourself means treating your body with the respect it deserves, even as it changes with age. This might involve regular movement, nourishing food, sufficient rest, and medical care when needed. It's about recognizing that your body is the vessel that carries you through life's experiences, and it requires care to function well. Taking the time to listen to its signals and responding with compassion is a profound act of self-worth. Emotionally, focusing on yourself means acknowledging your feelings, allowing yourself to experience them fully, and finding healthy ways to process and express them. It's common, especially in older age, to carry unspoken grief, regret, or unresolved tensions. Facing these emotions with honesty and gentleness can be difficult, but it is essential for healing and growth. Emotional self-care also involves setting boundaries to protect your energy and cultivating relationships that uplift and support you. It's about valuing your emotional health as much as you do your physical health. Mentally, focusing on yourself means engaging your mind in ways that challenge and stimulate you. This could be through reading, learning new skills, pursuing hobbies, or simply taking time for quiet reflection and mindfulness. Intellectual growth keeps the mind sharp and vibrant, encouraging creativity and flexibility in thinking. It reminds us that we are never too old to learn or to see the world from a fresh perspective. Spiritually, focusing on yourself often means nurturing your relationship with the divine or your inner sense of peace and purpose. This might take the form of prayer, meditation, worship, or contemplation. Spiritual self-care connects us to a source of strength and comfort beyond ourselves. It reminds us that our worth is not contingent on external achievements or appearances, but rooted in something eternal and unchanging. One of the most important truths about focusing on self-care and personal growth is that these practices communicate a deep message: you are worthy. In a culture that often equates worth with productivity or youth, choosing to care for yourself counters the narrative that you must always be doing, or that your value declines with age. Instead, it affirms that every stage of life is precious and that your well-being matters just as much now as it ever did. When we take care of ourselves, we model an important lesson for others, especially younger generations. We demonstrate that self-respect is foundational to a healthy, balanced life. We show that growth is not just for the young or the ambitious, but for anyone willing to embrace change and pursue wholeness. This modeling can inspire others to honor their own worth and invest in their well-being, creating a ripple effect of healing and empowerment. Another vital aspect of focusing on yourself is learning to say no without guilt. Many people, especially those who have spent years caring for others, find it difficult to refuse requests or to put their needs first. Yet, setting healthy boundaries is a crucial part of self-care. It preserves your energy, protects your peace, and allows you to give from a place of fullness rather than depletion. Saying no can be an act of courage and self-respect, showing that you recognize your limits and honor your priorities. Focusing on yourself also means embracing your uniqueness. It involves recognizing the gifts, talents, and experiences that make you who you are and celebrating them without comparison or judgment. This self-acceptance fosters confidence and joy, enabling you to live authentically and with intention. It encourages you to pursue passions and interests that enrich your life, no matter how big or small. It's important to remember that focusing on self-care and personal growth is not about perfection or rigid routines. Life's journey is filled with ups and downs, and being gentle with yourself during difficult times is itself an act of care. Sometimes focusing on yourself means resting, slowing down, or simply being present without pressure to fix everything. It means listening to your inner needs and responding with kindness. In many ways, focusing on yourself is about reclaiming your narrative. It means choosing to define your worth and your life by your own values and truths, rather than by external expectations. This is especially powerful in older age, when societal messages can sometimes diminish the importance of continued growth or self-investment. By focusing inward, you affirm that your story is still unfolding, that your purpose is still alive, and that your life remains meaningful. The process of personal growth often involves facing fears and stepping outside of comfort zones. This can be challenging at any age, but it is particularly courageous in later years when change might seem daunting. Yet growth is possible and necessary throughout life. It keeps the spirit vibrant and the heart hopeful. Embracing new experiences, learning new things, or simply deepening your understanding of yourself are all ways to keep growing. One beautiful aspect of focusing on yourself is that it often leads to greater compassion for yourself and others. When you value your own worth and care for your well-being, you become more patient and forgiving of your imperfections. This self-compassion naturally extends outward, allowing you to relate to others with empathy and kindness. It creates a circle of care that nurtures both your inner world and your relationships. Focusing on self-care and personal growth also enhances your ability to contribute meaningfully to the world around you. When you are healthy, balanced, and growing, you are better equipped to share your wisdom, love, and gifts with others. This contribution is not measured by grand achievements, but by the simple, consistent presence of a person who knows their worth and lives it daily. In cultivating self-care and growth, it's helpful to develop practices that support these goals, whether it's setting aside time each day for reflection, engaging in physical activity, or connecting with supportive communities. These intentional actions build habits that reinforce the value you place on yourself. Over time, they create a foundation of well-being that sustains you through life challenges. It is also essential to be patient with yourself in this process. Growth does not happen overnight, and self-care is not always easy or straightforward. There will be days when motivation wanes or old habits resurface. What matters is the commitment to keep returning to yourself with kindness and determination. Every small step forward is a victory and a testament to your worth. Ultimately, focusing on self-care and personal growth is a profound way of honoring the life you have lived and the life you still have to live. It is an act of gratitude for your existence and a declaration that you deserve peace, joy, and fulfillment. It is a choice to nurture the gifts within you and to invest in your own flourishing, no matter where you are on life's journey. ChatGPT said, "Choosing words wisely and letting actions and kindness speak louder is a vital principle, especially as we grow older and gain the wisdom that life's experiences provide." Words carry immense power. They can build up or tear down, heal or wound, inspire or discourage. How we use our speech reflects not only our character, but also the legacy we leave behind. Learning to speak thoughtfully and letting our actions demonstrate our true intentions is a mark of maturity and grace. From early on, many of us are taught to express ourselves clearly and confidently. While this is important, there comes a time when the emphasis shifts from simply speaking to speaking with purpose. In the later stages of life, the wisdom we gain helps us realize that not every thought needs to be voiced, and that silence can sometimes say more than words ever could. Choosing words wisely means weighing the impact of what we say, understanding the context, and speaking only when our words will add value rather than noise. Words, when chosen with care, have the power to soothe troubled hearts and bring clarity to confusion. However, when spoken carelessly or impulsively, they can cause harm that lingers long after the moment has passed. As we age, the accumulated experience teaches us the importance of restraint. A quiet confidence that does not need to prove itself with constant speech, but instead communicates strength through discernment. One reason why wise speech becomes increasingly important is because relationships grow more complex over time. Families expand, histories intertwine, and emotions run deep. In such environments, words can either heal old wounds or reopen them. By choosing to speak thoughtfully, we protect the delicate fabric of relationships and foster an atmosphere of respect and understanding. This doesn't mean withholding truth or avoiding difficult conversations, but rather approaching them with empathy and clarity, aiming to build rather than break down. Actions, however, often speak louder than words. When words fall short or seem insufficient, the way we live out our values becomes the most powerful form of communication. Kindness, generosity, patience, and humility expressed through actions leave a lasting impression. These are the things people remember, not just what we said, but how we made them feel through our deeds. In many ways, actions become a language of the heart. They reveal the authenticity behind our words and demonstrate a consistency that words alone cannot. When our actions align with our speech, trust is built and relationships flourish. Conversely, when there is a gap between what we say and what we do, confusion and distrust often follow. This alignment is a hallmark of wisdom and integrity. Kindness, as an action, holds incredible transformative power. It is a simple yet profound way to communicate love, respect, and care without needing to say much at all. Kindness can break down barriers, soften hearts, and create connections that transcend words. In old age, when words may sometimes fail us or lose their impact, kindness becomes a universal language that everyone understands. Choosing silence over unnecessary speech is another expression of wisdom. There are moments when speaking out of turn or reacting in haste can escalate conflicts or cause regret. Silence in these moments is not weakness but strength, a conscious decision to maintain peace and preserve dignity. It also allows space for reflection and understanding to grow before responding. Listening is an often overlooked but essential part of choosing words wisely. True listening requires humility and patience. It means valuing the other person's perspective and giving them the gift of attention without rushing to reply or judge. In silence, we create room for deeper understanding and connection. Listening also teaches us more about ourselves and others, enabling us to respond with greater compassion and insight. As we age, the way we communicate shapes the legacy we leave behind. Our words and actions become the stories others tell about us. Choosing to speak with kindness, restraint, and purpose ensures that our legacy is one of love and respect. It also influences younger generations, teaching them by example the power of thoughtful communication. Wisdom in speech also involves humility, the willingness to admit when we are wrong, to apologize sincerely, and to accept constructive criticism. This humility fosters reconciliation and growth, both personally and within our communities. It disarms defensiveness and opens doors to healing and understanding. Another dimension of choosing words wisely is the awareness of timing. Knowing when to speak and when to remain silent requires sensitivity to the moment and to the people involved. Speaking too soon may lead to misunderstandings, while waiting too long can cause missed opportunities for encouragement or correction. This discernment grows sharper with experience and deepens our relationships. There is also beauty in brevity. Over the years, many have learned that saying less often carries more impact. Concise, meaningful words have the power to inspire and comfort in ways that lengthy explanations cannot. This economy of speech reflects clarity of thought and a respect for the listener's time and attention. Actions that embody kindness and integrity provide a daily witness to the values we hold dear. Small gestures, offering a helping hand, sharing a smile, expressing gratitude, accumulate into a life marked by love and generosity. These actions speak louder than any speech, reaching hearts in ways words sometimes cannot. In this way, choosing words wisely and allowing actions and kindness to speak louder is not about silence for its own sake, but about meaningful communication. It's about recognizing the responsibility that comes with speech and honoring it through thoughtful restraint and intentional deeds. It reflects a mature spirit that values peace, respect, and love above being heard or winning arguments. This principle also encourages us to guard our words carefully in moments of anger, frustration, or fear. When emotions run high, words can become weapons rather than tools for connection.